Good evening, everyone. After this wonderful and exciting presentation about the Chennai Super Kings, we have a privilege here today to have a fireside chat with none other than Vineet Gautam, CEO and country head, Bestseller India. Welcome to CRS, Vineet.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here. Thank you.
So, to start with, I would request Vineet to give a glimpse about what Bestseller India is all about, and then we can take it ahead.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm very happy to be here. Bestseller is a Danish fashion company. We have about 20 brands globally. We're a very Scandinavian company with a lot of brands in Scandinavia. In India, we started about 15 years back, actually 16 years back. I joined about a year later. We have brands like Jack & Jones, Vero Moda, Only, Selected, and now also we have extension of the brand with Jack & Jones Junior and Vero Moda Girl. So that's about what we have. We run about 400 own stores, about 150 franchisee stores, about 2,000 shop-in-shops with multi-brand outlets and department stores, and a decent amount of business comes for us from online.
So, Vineet, the first question is, how do you see the journey of 15 years? When you joined the company, it was almost, extremely nascent, just entered India. And the numbers that you have just mentioned, it's a very, very, successful story. How has been this journey? It's a very odd question. It can be as big as the whole day of Chennai Retail Summit also, and it can be an emotional one also. But if you can describe it in few words before we get into the other areas and aspects of how you made that happen.
I think it's been an amazing journey. I think a journey run by passion, grit, and a lot of commitment from a great team that we've been able to gather in India. I think we take a very large pride with the organization that we have built, the culture, and the brands that we have built. Today, I remember 15 years back when we started, our brands were relatively not known at all because we are so much Scandinavian. And Indians, when they look at any brand, they look at US, they look at UK, they look at Middle East, and sometimes Southeast Asia. All these markets never existed. So for us to create a brand which was so much Scandinavian was a very, very big challenge. And we entered India at the same time when Zara was entering. So our entry times are almost the same. And hence, and Zara had a big halo, right? Zara is, end of the day, Zara. And I think every consumer, whether they buy or not, they knows about Zara. So for us to compete against them within the same space was a very large challenge for us. And I think today when I look back 15 years, I'm going to complete 15 years on 31st of December. I think it's been a fulfilling journey, very, very adventurous, sometimes tough. But end of the day, I think today what we've been able to achieve for 15 years consistently is love from our customers about our brands, our product, our stores. And I think that makes us feel very proud to be in India.
You said it's a Scandinavian brand. And 15 years ago when you entered here, at that time also, and even today, India still remains a very diverse market. First of all, a Scandinavian brand, then a market as diverse as India, with so many states and as equal to so many countries abroad. How did you manage? What were your key strategies at that time to ensure that you are able to capture the Indian market?
So I think when we came from Europe, Europe is one region, but it also has 20 odd countries. I think India is equivalent to Europe. We are one country, but we have 26 states, hundreds of languages, different tastes. Even in cities, tastes differ. And we work out of Bombay. What sells in Bandra does not sell in Ghatkopar. Or even in Delhi, what sells in South Delhi does not work in Noida, and many parts of the country is the same. And I'm sure for Chennai also is the same. So I think first thing that we decided that we cannot run thinking India as one. We need to look at micro markets, macro markets, and that's when we started to design our strategy. And we started to work from Bombay. And the first largest expansion we did was only in Bombay. And I think we did not, like a lot of brands start from Delhi. We started from Bombay. Majorly international brands come and open Delhi first. We were in Bombay, we knew Bombay. I'm not from Bombay, but I think the team was from Bombay. And we decided that we will open Bombay, we'll learn here. And we learned a lot. And I think that was the first 1-2 years were the right fundamentals that we created about our brand, product, price. And I think price is a very large discussion point that maybe at some point we will have. But the staying true to the product and the brand DNA was very important. Whether you are selling in Delhi or in Bombay, your brand DNA cannot change. And I think that's where we worked a lot. And I can relate to this presentation that happened on Chennai Super King. And I think I completely agree with what he said, that if you are true to your customer, wherever they are, they will love you back. And I think, I'm sure we also have to do many more things. But I think the love that we have got from a brand, from consumers, has been amazing. Vero Moda today is one of the, I think every woman's wardrobe brand, right? At least one product from Vero Moda they will have, or for Jack and Jones, a young person, man, will have something from. And I think that makes us feel proud that we've been able to at least enter people's wardrobe. And we know so many stories, and we do a lot of research on consumer. And I think that is something which my message to anyone who's listening here is, keep listening to your customers. And we listen that region by region. When we entered Punjab, Punjab is a different market, right? I think fashion starts in Punjab sometimes, because half their generation is staying in the US. So they know fashion much before anyone else knows about it. So we had to really tailor-make and understand what Punjab is. And it took us a long time to crack it. I can give you example. I think in Chennai, when you are here, everyone likes check shirts. But the check shirts we sell in Chennai don't sell in Punjab. Absolutely, they don't sell. But what sells in Punjab is, because they have to match their pagdi color with the shirt. So your shirts need to be multicolored, because they can't have hundreds of pagdis, right? So I think there are learnings that you need to understand from a consumer when you talk to them, when you hear them. And I think that's what we got it, and that's where we divided markets. And I think that's been the strength of how we've been able to succeed almost pan-India now. We operate our own retail out of 38 cities, but we run retail with partners in 136 cities currently in the country, and we service almost online every pin code possible in the country today. So I think it's possible only when you understand what consumers want, and I think that is where segmentation of consumer markets is very, very important.
How could you balance the global brand standards vis-a-vis the unique demands of the Indian market? Did you, what all adjustments you did to customize it to the Indian market?
So I think few things that first I will say we've stuck to the DNA of the brand. If the brand in Europe stands for something, we stand for the same thing here in India. But fashion does not need to be the same thing. Product doesn't need to be the same thing. The brand needs to be the same thing. Nike is Nike wherever you go. But what they sell in US doesn't sell much in India. The amount of Air Jordan they sell in US, we don't sell in India. We sell sneakers, right? Because they realize that Air Jordan is not the most important thing for Indians, because we don't play basketball. We don't even follow the basketball players in life. So I think that's where it is so much important for people. And that's what we did. Our products that you see in India are quite different to our global products. Because India is a colorful country. We love our colors. If you go to Europe, black, blue, gray, and if they might get lucky, they might choose one more color, which will be the most dullest color possible. Even if they choose the red, it will be the most dullest. India, no one buys those colors. So we had to change the product assortment. We had to look at the colors differently. And we were doing a large women's business. Vero Moda had only 2 women's brands in the portfolio and 1 men's brand in the portfolio. The silhouettes that we use globally don't work in India. Loose armholes don't work in India. Deep necks don't work in India, right? And I think that's where a lot of global companies make the mistake, not adapting the product to India. And so we do fits for India. And now we design for India also, because now our distribution is large. But initially we would get the product and we do the fit for India. And I think that has helped us conquer this market. Today, a woman who wants to buy a product will not think in Vero Moda, will this fit be okay with me? Because it's an Indian fit, right? And I'm not taking about, but look at any global competition. You will struggle with armholes. You will struggle with deep necks, and then you have to find layerings to do it. India is a hot country, you can't even layer. So I think it's something that you have to understand from a consumer perspective, from the India market perspective. And I think end of the day, we also have started designing for India now. We have a very large design team that designs for India.
Nice. Now let's look at the blueprint for growth. And what were the best sellers expansion strategies? I'm talking from two perspectives. One is the categories that you expanded, another is the stores and the cities that you just mentioned. How do you go about doing that, both from the stores perspective and from the categories perspective?
So I'll start from the retail perspective and then I'll come down to the category perspective. I think from day one, we were very clear, we are not a high street brand. We cannot on our own merit attract too much traffic. So if you see 98% of our stores are in shopping malls, right? And we take the best locations in the shopping mall, whichever malls you go, you'll find the best locations with us because we want to be very clear. We want to be where the customer is. We do high streets, definitely we do high streets. I'm not saying we have a very beautiful store at Linking Road, even in Bangalore, but those we do for people to experience the whole brand. Those are brand leaders for us. They create the brand, they create the brand identity, they create the brand experience, but we prefer doing shopping malls. So if there is a mall which is able to sell the kind of products that we sell, we are 100% there. And that's why we are only limited to 36, 38 cities on our own. Because beyond that, the shopping malls does not exist in a space that we want to operate. And we are very choosy with the shopping malls. We are not in everywhere. Even in Chennai, we have 2 stores for Jack and Jones. We have one store for Vero Moda, we have one store for only. Because we just don't find a next best mall where our brands can exist. And brand exists does not mean the mall is not good enough. The whole mall ambience needs to be good enough. You need to have clean washroom for our customers. And if they are not there, customer will shop, but is that the experience that you want to give? So I think we are very choosy. So on the retail perspective, but still we've managed to open 400 stores. So, and I think we continue to grow. We are expanding. And then we do a lot of category growth. I think I keep saying this, it's better to go deep than go wide. So once you have established a brand, go deep with the categories. Open more categories rather than opening more brands. Right? For us, it's very easy to come and open. We could have opened another kids brand, whatever the name could be. But we said, no, Vero Moda is a strong brand. Why can't we do Vero Moda Girls? Why can't we do Jack and Jones Junior, which is the boys thing? Because the brand is most important. And I think someone just said, invest in the brand, customers will follow. And I think that's what we've done. We've invested heavily in our brands, whether through marketing, social media. We majorly do a lot more digital because our consumers are young. But we also do brand ambassadors, right? So once you've got the product right, you've got the brand right, then go and expand. Like Vero Moda, we just launched intimates, right? We believe there's a very large category gap here. We believe swimwear is a very large category gap. At some point, we will look at it. But there are market opportunities that one can look at. And I think that's what we are trying to now do. Even Jack and Jones, we do amazing shoes. We know you're doing bags. We do a lot of other categories that we are expanding to. So one is category expansion, and then obviously we are expanding on through retail. And then we are also opening more channels. We obviously e-commerce, we are present everywhere. Very soon we'll be on quick commerce. I think we are days away from quick commerce launch. We were just chatting in between. And then we started also distribution. Our business, we've never done wholesale in this country. So for the last 3 years, we also started doing distribution. Because we realized we cannot reach the heartland of the country without not being with distribution and multi-brand outlets, because they run the core of business. So like in Tamil Nadu, we are just present in 2 cities, but there's huge business in Tamil Nadu, right? So we now looking at those channels also for growth.
Quick commerce, D2C, we'll come to that. But before that, since you are talking about the consumer, I want to know how do you target your segment and how do you target and differentiate different consumers, you know, the offerings to the different consumers?
So I think what we do, and I'll compare 2 brands, we have brand segmented to consumers rather than a brand completely being for everyone. We are very clear Jack and Jones is not for everyone. Jack and Jones is for the trendy customer. Now he or she, he can be any age. It doesn't matter to us, but it is for the trend customer. Selected is a classic brand, right? And then people who have that classic taste will buy Selected. So our segmentation of communication automatically changes when we very clearly know what we need to communicate. I think challenge is we want to be everything for everyone. And that is the problem that then you start to get confused with who the consumer is. Then you have such a wide audience that you don't know how to reach to them. And I think we are very, very clear in our brand communication in terms of whom are we communicating. We are in Jack and Jones communicating to a trend customer who wants to buy trends. In Selected, we want to only communicate to customers who want to buy classic products and they appreciate product fabrics and quality. Similarly, in Vero Moda, it is for a mature woman who likes European fashion at value for money prices. That's it. And only is for the young girl. Right? If you are any age and you're young at heart, you can. There's so many of our customers in 40s also who buy only because they like the product. So I think our communication TG is very different to a buying TG, and we are very clear in whom we are communicating to, and that helps us segment it much better and sharply. And I keep saying this: as sharp is your TG, the better is your brand. The more wide you go on the TG, then the brand starts to get diluted.
One of the key components for this is pricing. How, if I have to frame this question, from a pricing perspective, is bestseller or are your brands more pricey or more costly? I'm using the words, not randomly, but in sync, costly or pricey, or maybe what does it denote when somebody wants to buy, because you are talking about segmentation, you have defined your segment, and you are also talking about target marketing. With this comes the pricing part of it. So how do you describe the pricing strategy, Vineet?
So with 15 years of running these brands and spending a lot of time in consumer, I think India is a value for money seeking country. And I am not saying it is a value seeking country. There are very difference between a value seeking customer and a value for money customer, right? There's value for money when you buy LV also for that customer. There's value for money for Vero Moda customer also. There's a value for money for a Zudio customer also. So till the time for brand that you have created, the product that you are giving, you are able to give that value, customers will love it. So I don't think there's a value challenge in this country that people only want to buy cheaper products, because I keep hearing this. Now these days our favorite is Zudio. All of us want to go into that space of Zudio and open more brands. It's a different customer. It's a different segment, and they are staying true to that value, right? And we have to decide what our customer is and who our customer is and what is the value proposition that customer needs. Like a Vero Moda woman wants good quality product. She's not happy with polyester, right? She wants natural fabrics. Now for her, if I give a dress at 4,000 rupees, she'll find value in it, right? So it's a very, very different proposition. I can't go and sell that dress for her at 10,000 rupees. Then it's not value for money for her. So I think we are very clear that we are a value for money brands. All our brands stand for it. And Jack and Jones also sells denim, which is 15,000 rupees. But the same denim, if they go to an international large brand without naming a name, will be 35,000 rupees. So that's value for money for them. So we are very clear on what segment, and we sell T-shirts from 799 in Jack and Jones. Now, I think now in 99. And I would love to take the price a little bit up, but my team doesn't agree. That's the irony of things, that when you have too much democracy in the company, then that happens. So, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate here. But you have to allow people, right? These days, you have to allow people to take their decision. So, we believe we are a value for money brands, and we like to keep that positioning. And value keeps changing as your product offering keeps changing. As we upgrade our product, as we premiumize our brands, which we are doing because consumers are asking for premiumization, the value proposition also will keep changing.
So this is actually the question which I had to ask at the beginning, but since Vineet spoke about target marketing, differentiation, segmentation, what is your positioning? What is the positioning of Bestseller? And Bestseller is the company name, but I know all the brands have a different positioning. So this answer this last STPD question on positioning as well.
So I'll say Jack and Jones is a trendy menswear brand. That's our positioning, right? And now you can, you have a very different positioning to what others are. And I'll give you an example of trendy. I am sure a few of you will remember color chinos became a big trend a few years back, right? Everyone was trying to sell color chinos in this country. But because we are a trendy brand, we brought that one season before. And when chinos were all across colored chinos, and we didn't have it. So customers were coming and telling us, you are not trendy. But for us, trend means ahead in time. We need to be able to decide when is that trend happening globally, because that's our commitment to the customer. That's our value proposition. That's where our positioning is. And hence, sometimes you have to give it up. And our job is to predict the next big trend. These days, there are a lot of menswear brands here doing knit shirts. That's become the biggest trend. We did it 3 years back, right? That was a time when trends started for knit shirts. So if you have to have that positioning, you have to stay true to it. While we still do knit t-shirts, knit shirts, but we do it in a different way now, right? So I think that's our position for Jack and Jones. And I said for Vero Moda, Vero Moda is every woman's wardrobe brand, and I think we're very powerful with that. And Vero Moda is the only brand where we don't have a brand ambassador. Because we believe it is for everyone. And hence choosing the right brand ambassador is a very big problem for us. Like in Jackie Chan, we know we are a trendy brand, so choosing Ranveer was very easy. He was the most trendy Bollywood star. So we just chose. Only for young girls, so we chose Ananya Pandey. It's so easily possible to choose. But Vero Moda is for everyone, so it becomes very difficult. So even because of that positioning, we have to also look at who our brand ambassadors can be. And we don't choose anyone and everyone for it. Like selected, we chose Saif Ali Khan. He was old, but he was classic, right? The Patodis. So we look at marketing from that angle, that is it true? Or are we just signing brand ambassador for the sake of signing brand ambassador? So our positioning clearly defines what we do and how we do it. And that's where we think we've done decently well for 15 years.
Designing for India, how bestseller captures the heart of the Indian consumer. What influences your design choices, Vineet, when you are curating collections specifically for the Indian market? And how much freedom you have in being an international Scandinavian brand?
So I think that's where Bestseller is very differently structured. We are a full SBU. We have full independence to design for India. We don't even need to send designs for approvals to global offices. While we also get designs from them, we have the freedom to decide what to buy. We have the freedom what to design in India. And we look at trend forwardness. And that's been our uniqueness from day one. I'm sure a lot of people in women's wear associate Zara as the most trendiest brand. Vero Moda has the same trends as what Zara will have. But I can very proudly say we'll be more wearable and maybe a little tad better quality than Zara, but Zara is an amazing brand. So I think we choose products looking at what trend is going to happen, what is the next big trend, and then we follow that trend and design for it. Obviously, we take inspiration from our global collections. We also look at trend boards globally. We do a lot of social listening, right? We have defined and created tools only for social listening, where we listen what consumers are talking about. Because there are hundreds of trends happening globally. You need to understand what the Indian consumer is wanting. And that's what we do. We don't succeed all the time, but we try to succeed majority of the time.
I think this is a wonderful point of social listening. And with that, I also want to know what are your digital strategies in terms of going digital, which you have already, but if you can throw some light on what's your philosophy of digital, because you have a huge network pan-India across the cities with so many 400 plus stores. So what are your, how competition like D2C, etc. is affecting your business, or where do you see the challenge?
I don't think D2C is a challenge. I think it's welcome. India is a very large country. You can count the number of brands that we have in this country. So I think more the merrier. I think it just allows customer to get more educated, buy more brands, and as they move the value chain, because majority of these D2C brands are getting created in the value segment, more they get customers to branded products. Whenever they want to upgrade, they move to our brand. So I think they are creating a great market for us, and it makes me only happy. I would have been happier if they were not burning so much capital. That is my only thing that I don't feel happy, because it's spoiling the ecosystem, right? For every garment that you're selling, you're also sending a 500 rupee note along with that. That is worrying, because this free capital that we started getting, private equity, VC, whatever, is definitely hurting. And that's hurting the ecosystem of this business. And hopefully, I know now some sense is prevailing. And I think you must ensure that your unit economics at least are positive. Maybe at the corporate level you don't make money, I understand that. But at a unit economics level, losing money for every garment selling is crime. Because that is free money. And don't give it out. Don't give free money. Customer is not wanting free money. Customer is wanting a great product. And I think that is why brands will get built. So I think that is what we should stick to. But I'm not worried with D2C. I think it's a good thing that so many D2C brands are doing well. And I really like few of them. A lot of people are also my good friends. And we also learn from them a lot.
I think this will be the penultimate question. The journey of a leader, Vineet Gautam's path to steering Bestseller India. Can you share some pivotal moments in your career that have shaped your leadership style at Bestseller? And in other words, what I'm asking you is, please share your secret success of the secret of this success?
I think for any business, the secret of success is only one: their people. I am successful because I have a great team that is there with me, and a team that has stayed and stuck around with it. So it's very important what culture you create, what organization you are building, what kind of people you are having, and how much you are empowering them. And they will make wrong decisions. Don't jump in. My advice to everyone: don't jump in, because next time वो बोलेगा आप ही बता दो. फिर हर चीज़ में आप ही को बताना पड़ेगा, फिर किसी का गर्दन पकड़ नहीं सकते आप अगले दिन. But that was on a lighter note. But I think we have a fantastic organization. People love to work for Bestseller. The learnings, I think, change every few years, and I think COVID was the largest learning. In the whole 15 years, I had many, but I think COVID was the largest learning. And also, our organization post-COVID is a very different organization, I will say, both in terms of revenue, profitability. It made us learn that capital is not for free. Cash is not for free. And you need cash on the books to manage crisis. We had cash on the books. We could tie it away easily. I've seen so many of people struggle, borrow more money, get into a debt trap, and finally wind over. So I think that is one big learning. The other is people. People will make businesses. You can't make businesses. You can only strategize. You can show them. I keep saying this, and I'll say this in Hindi. I don't know how many people will understand, but I'll try to translate in English. घोड़े को कुएं तक ले जा सकते हो, पानी नहीं पिला सकते, right? So you can take the horse till the well, but you can't make them drink water. They have to learn to drink it themselves. For that, they have to learn, and they will make mistakes, and that is our job to stand behind them when they are making mistakes. And I think that is my biggest learning, because I can't do it all. I'm not the best at all. I don't know how many people know. I don't even understand fashion. I'm a hotel management passed out. I have done no fashion courses in my life, so I have to give credit to people who understand that better than me. And you need people better than you in your team. And if you cannot get better people than you, then there's a challenge, because you will get constrained at some point of time.
Last question is about, everybody has to take a tough decision in life, whether you are a CEO, chairman, owner, MD, founder, etc. What are your principles or philosophies when you have to take a tough decision? What do you look at, Vineet, when you have to do this?
I think the toughest decision is to say no. And that is the biggest power one has. Right? I think we think power is about saying yes. I think the power is about saying no. We will not do this business. We will not run a non-profitable business. We will not run a store that is not making money. We will not retain people only for money. I think these are the biggest powers people have. People forget that. People think just saying yes is a power. Saying no is a power. We are very clear post-COVID, we will not run a business that does not make money. Yes, we will incubate new businesses. We want to make them successful. But if they cannot become 100 crore worth, or any category 100 crore worth, we don't want it. It's not worth our time. Because the business at which we are operating, if any business is, or any vertical is less than 100 crore, not worth our time. It's much better that I put my whole concentration in other businesses that are running, and grow them, because I will make more money. And the intent of all businesses is to make money, while staying true to consumer promises, taking care of your team, all that is there, but end objective is to make money. And there is no big power than money, because then only you can do things for your employees, then only you can do things for your brand, then only you can open more stores and do anything. And then only you can go to e-commerce guys and say, no, we will not do this business because it's loss-making. But if you do not have that power, you have to get into that trap of doing loss-making businesses, because you need turnover to sustain. And that is, I think, the power I've learned. It was not easy. Today also it's not easy for me to say no to everyone, but I'm also learning in this journey.
Last question, 5 years down the line, where do you see yourself and the brand?
Ooh, 5 years down the line, where do I see myself?
And the brand. Or maybe what's your 5 years, what's your goal for the next 5 years?
I think we will triple our business in 5 years. That is surely. I will not put a number, because we don't share numbers as a policy. But we'll triple up the business in 5 years. And maybe we'll increase our profitability at least 5 times. I think that should be our objective of the 5 year. And where I see myself, I think I will love that what I do is taken over by someone else, and I do something else in my life and do better things in my life for bestseller or anything else. And that will be the 5 year plan.
That's Vineet Gautam, tripling the business in 5 years down the line, and even
Five times the
5 times the profitability. These are the key takeaways, the mudda, of this.
No, no,
but
it's not going to be easy, but
the mudda has come with all the last 20 minutes insights that Vineet has shared with us. If we have these insights and if we apply these insights the way Vineet has applied in Bestseller India, definitely we will see tripling the profitability and the turnover. Thank you very much,
Thank you
Vineet
so much,
Gautam.
Dr. Hitesh.
He
Thank you.
came specifically for this 20 minutes from Mumbai to share these 20 minutes with us, and is going back now again. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
on
having me.
behalf of
Thank you.
Bala.
It's all for Bala. He is the one who's pushed me to get here. Yeah.